Hey guys, Cam Dougal here with Low End Nation, sitting in the studio here in Vancouver with my good friend Kevin Scott. He's in town to play a show with Gov't Mule, which I'm actually really looking forward to checking out. So thanks for coming in.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So I guess I got to ask you, where are you coming in from today? I know you used to be in Atlanta. You're in New Orleans for a while. Where are you at these days?
I am in Bushwick, Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Not a bad spot for a musician.
It's one of the last spots you can afford to live.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, either that or Ridgewood. It's kind of the mass exodus of artists that are living in Bushwick and Queens now for the most part.
Nice. Yeah, and lots of good local venues for just working it out.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how, it's there's not as much going on in Manhattan that I know of anymore.
Yeah.
But Bushwick's really thriving in that area in particular.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you grew up Southern Alabama.
Yes.
Kind of near the Panhandle.
Yep.
And it's Dothan?
That's right. You
Nice.
pronounced it correctly. That's
All right.
That's amazing.
I was hoping it wasn't Dothan.
Yeah, see, I always hear Dothan.
Yeah. No, Dothan. I think I'm from a small town too, so I think we just figure these pronunciations out. Whatever's laziest, usually.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was it like growing up there? At least music wise, was there a bit of a local scene or kind of within the area?
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy how good of a scene there was when I was growing up.
Oh, nice.
There. Yeah. My stepdad is an amazing musician, and my uncle was. So I come from a family of musicians.
Oh, nice.
So I started working in his band when I was like 13, I think, 14.
Okay.
And in Dothan at the time, there was this strip of the downtown area that had clubs that would book bands like 5 or 6 nights a week.
Oh, really?
So you do this whole kind of strip.
Yeah.
Go down to Reb's place, then go play this, Moon Times.
Yeah.
And the original scene, there's even an original scene there. There was these kind of DIY type venues.
Yeah.
These coffee shops are like Godfather's Pizza would do the metal punk rock stuff.
Yeah.
So there was actually pretty thriving scene back then. It's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah.
That it was like that.
Yeah. Godfather's Pizza was just reminding me of that metal band at Denny's.
Yeah.
What the fuck's up, Denny's?
No, that's how it was.
Yeah.
You would go, play. Yeah, because I had my first band was called Kevin Wang and the Skin Pollutes. And it was a Primus Mr. Bungle ripoff. And we would do these DIY shows around there.
Oh, nice. It's really too bad that those kind of venues don't exist where there can just be music every night of the week. And
I know
so many things have died off these days, and I really hope that comes back. But that's
a
really great thing for growing up playing to have some venues, right?
Yeah, I have a place, and I was lucky enough to have this place, Moon Times, that would they didn't know I was 15 or something.
Oh, gotcha.
So I was a regular at the bar, but I played like 3 nights a week.
Oh, cool.
And they would let me do improv shows even back then, which is pretty crazy to think about. But
yeah, that's hard to get into a venue usually with that.
It's in Dothan, Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Play some Skinner.
Yeah, pretty much. Steve Miller. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. And so from Dothan, you made your way up to Atlanta.
Yes.
And what kind of drew you up there?
It's again, growing up in this musical family, like my mom and dad and my uncles, it was like they told me you have to go to school or get a gig.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's because I could not longer take being in Dothan, and I tried to go to community college. That lasted half a semester. And I ended up getting a phone call to go in a band that I opened for with my band at Moon Times.
Oh, okay.
And they said, "Hey, would you want to play with us?" And I was like, "Cool, this is a way to get a Dothan."
Yeah.
And because when I was younger, I thought I'd be in New York.
Yeah.
Or New York or Los Angeles or Nashville.
Yeah.
And then you realize how expensive it is, and but Atlanta was always on my radar in a weird way because of my discovery of Colonel Bruce Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew he was there.
Gotcha.
And I was like, okay, like I always wanted. Bruce was like kind of a weird mentor I didn't know him.
Yeah.
In high school, So I knew Bruce was there, and if I moved to Atlanta, I would hopefully get to work with the Colonel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and interestingly enough, you actually ended up playing in this band for quite a while, right?
Yeah, even the way I discovered him was like typical Bruce Hampton, folklore.
Yeah.
I used to buy records at this flea market
Okay.
called Sadie's Flea Market, and it was open on the weekends only. But there was this guy there that was like 5 foot with a mustache that went down to his chin. We used to call Stash. He was like a cartoon character, and he would say, I have every piece of vinyl in the world in a warehouse. I have 3 million, whatever he says." I was like, all right. And at the time, I was getting into the very, I was getting into Albert Eiler and Coltrane and Zorn and Zappa and that that kind of more of alternative instrumental music.
Yeah.
And I gave him a list because he's like, if you give me a list, I'll get you any record you want. So I gave him a list of stuff, and he brought back a lot of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
But he threw in this record that had these 2 guys in the cover. One of them looked like he had on like white makeup with a wig and glasses with a jacket. The other guy had a Beatles jacket, and it said, "Colonel Bruce Hampton, the late Bronze Age." And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I had a guy, a fireman with a hose on the back. Like it was a weird looking album. And I put it on and was like, well, this is unbelievable. This is like, even more far out than Zappa in a way.
Yeah.
And I figured out, Atlanta, Georgia. And then I realized that my uncle worked with Bruce for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Like, so it was this weird thing.
Yeah.
So I saw it. And then the next week at the Moontime's place, because it was a jam band bar, and I hated jam band music. I was such a snob.
Yeah.
Moontime's is named after a Panic song, a Watchford Panic song. That's how far deep this place was.
Oh, okay.
And this guy, Sammy Norris, who was the bartender, was like, "Hey, man, you need to stop being such an asshole and check some of this music out." And I was like, "Well, I'm into jazz and classical and death metal and whatever, blah, 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 Steely Dan, whatever."
Yeah.
So I went through his book, and I picked out a CD, and it was this yellow CD with a guy with a mustache. It was Bruce again.
Oh, okay.
So like a 2-week span, I got hip to a Criminal Rescue Unit and all this stuff in the 80s with Bruce, and it completely flipped me out.
Yeah. Yeah. Some just incredible tunes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so when you got up to Atlanta, was O'Teal like Aquarium Rescue Unit still going, or was
No, this is so much. I mean, I graduated high school in 2003.
Yeah.
So I moved to Atlanta in like 2004, I think.
Oh, okay.
I was just a year. Yeah. So they were long gone. I mean, Jimmy was still around.
Yeah.
Sipe, I think, still might have been in Atlanta, but I think he might have moved to Asheville at that point.
Yeah.
But I had no idea. Again, this goes back to what we talked about earlier about not having the internet around.
Yeah.
You just assume that when I first moved to Atlanta, I started playing this place called the Brandy House, which was, I knew Bruce played there a lot, so I thought Bruce like lived there. I mean,
Yeah.
But then Bruce at the time was living in Pensacola, which is crazy.
Yeah. A little closer to Dothan.
Right.
Yeah.
So I leave and he goes where I was at.
Yeah.
It's wild, but so yeah,
Yeah. And what was that, the whole experience of he's got a reputation as as a character. What was that experience of playing in his band like for you?
I mean, it was it was game changing. I mean, he in a lot of ways, I tell it when just how he would. He was like a snake oil salesman, but he was also psychic. It was like,
Yeah.
it was like being a band with like Howlin' Wolf, but then like Carl Young or something.
Yeah.
Like he was
Interesting.
He was such a pure soul, and what he would do is he would make you face your ego.
Interesting.
And, when you're 20, I was like 25 when I started playing with Bruce, I think, 26, 25. I was on the scene, I was, I had, at that point I was playing a bunch of bands, and I thought of myself as a very accomplished guy.
Yeah.
And Bruce basically took my ego, put it in a blender.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm always be thankful for his, the way he would make you find your own way.
Yeah.
You know, because there's always kind of these weird challenges that he would put in front of you and how you would deal with it. You know, it was some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Was there any one particular lesson you took away from it, or was it more just the overall experience of?
Well, just his quote on, you know, take what you do seriously, not yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier. That's a really, really interesting quote, and probably something a lot of musicians need to think a little bit more about.
Yeah, because he would put it in perspective. It's like, dude, like, you know, Bach was alive at one time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
totally.
Nusrat was alive. It's like, it's, you know, it's, but it also, you know, you make you question your sanity because, you know, he would do things against what he would say a lot. And, you know, it's funny you bring up Bruce because, you know, with the guys that have worked with him, it's all we talk about, you know. And, you know, there are a good handful of success stories with Bruce in terms of whatever that means, but there are probably hundreds of guys that didn't make it out alive.
Went through the ringer and didn't come out the other side.
Yeah. Because it was a real boot camp. And, you know, my wife got me into this cult podcast of people that were in the cults and get out and talk about it. And I realized through this podcast that I was definitely in a cult for sure. Yeah. I mean, and it's not saying it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's there's definitely moments where I mean, even Bruce's influence on like how I met my wife. It's like there's all these weird things he's always involved in, even to this day. It's wild. You know, I mean, like for instance, with when I was getting married to my ex-wife, I was having lunch with Bruce, and Bruce told me, he goes, it won't last a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Because this, and I'm just horrified that he said that, you know, kind of deep down knowing it was probably not the wisest move.
Yeah.
And he looked at me in the farmer's market in Atlanta, Georgia, Decatur, Georgia. He said to me, Scott, you're going to end up with a Virgo from Alabama. The only way it's going to work.
Whoa.
And then fast forward years later, 5 years later, I was in a bar in Brooklyn at random, and I see this woman come in with a rat in her shoulder, and I walked over to her and said, where the fuck are you from? She said, I'm from Alabama. Virgo from Alabama.
Wow.
I didn't know she was Virgo at the time, but so the thing about the Bruce's thing is that it's endless. Like, you know, it's this weird. Everything's tied into it somehow.
Yeah,
you know,
that is crazy. Wow.
I mean, all the work. Yeah. It's all essentially like somehow he's like one step removed from it. In some weird way.
That is weird. Wild. So, and like obviously a lot of life lessons and a bunch of musical lessons, I'm sure, along the way. Was there anything musically where, you know, he just said, you know, don't fucking do that?
Well, like, it was very, I wish he would have done that.
Yeah, that would have been easier.
He was very, he had these weird cryptic ways of, you know, for instance, like when I got the band, it was me and Dwayne Trucks on drums, and Dwayne was already playing with Bruce in the band before us, which was with another group of guys, and we had Nick Johnson on guitar.
Oh, okay.
And he basically kept making us play smaller and smaller amps and rigs to the point that I was playing like a 112.
Yeah.
And we were playing so quiet on these gigs that like people were ignoring us. It was just because we're not playing like venues a lot of times. We're playing these fucking bars.
Yeah, for sure.
That we're playing with my other bands.
Yeah.
But now we're playing it extremely quiet, like blues type stuff. And one night I got so fed up, I was like, fuck this. I just hit my volume pedal all the way up, and the crowd went crazy. And he goes, and he even said, he took the credit for that.
Yeah.
It was like, so you found the flow. And I think the biggest musical thing I learned from Bruce was like just getting out of your own head and just playing.
Yeah.
And listening and not like caring about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, especially with bass. Because, you know, he wanted, like, if there was a way I would have had like a 5-inch speaker at one string on an upright bass, he would have been the happiest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where he was at.
Yeah.
And I learned space from him.
Yeah. It's super important.
Because before him, I was still into like fills every bar.
Yeah.
And he would just, he would give me these looks where he was just,
Yeah.
Very weird. Like that was awful.
Yeah.
Play bass.
Is that space is such an interesting thing as a bass player too. We just Steph and I just finished doing a run of shows playing Queen's News of the World, and I had charts for the whole thing. But the thing I realized after practicing for a while, I'm like the fucking rests are more important than the notes.
Yeah.
Like if you let that note ring into some of the other stuff that's going on, it sounds bad,
Really bad.
And so that whole concept of space is really something that gets ignored, but. The rests are on the page for a reason too, right?
Sure. And I also think I will say this, it's a controversial take maybe, but
Yeah.
I don't like it when I hear people say he or she is a solid bass player.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, that's the foundation. Like, just, you can't use the idea of like sometimes that's all they're capable of doing, and it's fine. But it just seems kind of almost insulting sometimes as a bass player when it's like,
Yeah.
well, he's solid.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he could do more than that too if he wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
It's like,
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm actually kind of curious because Atlanta's a city I don't know a ton about. I grew up actually closer to Detroit, hence the hat. In Canada, obviously, so across the border. But like locally in Atlanta, were there some players that you really looked up to, local guys?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Atlanta was I was there at such a magical time because I started this jam session.
Nice.
When I was maybe 21, and it went on for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
And it was all improvised.
Very cool.
So through that gig, it was like, it developed this community of just these amazing friends that, we still love each other to this day.
Yeah.
But that was an opportunity for some of the older guys to come check us out doing in our real element.
Yeah.
Instead of us saying, hey, hey, Mr., like for instance, like, besides Bruce, like Grant Green Jr. was there.
Oh, wow.
And, Ike Summerfield was there, and Russell Gunn.
Yeah.
Lil John Roberts was
Oh,
there.
wow.
Is there? Terry on Gully. God, I hate even listing names. There's so many great players, but I was real lucky enough from having that gig with like a guy like Russell Gunn was such a huge influence on me because he took me in when I was young, and was like, I remember the first time Russell called me, it was on the road with Bruce. I get his number, and it was Russell. And when Russell called me, I literally asked him on the phone, I went, are you looking for somebody's number? He goes, no, man, I want to hire you for a gig.
Oh, cool.
And then that led into an amazing mentorship with him. And Grant Green Jr. was another guy. When he moved to town, it was like, he took me under his wing.
Yeah.
But it was all through having that gig where they could come and actually see me play.
Yeah.
And not be like, hey, I'm playing at, I'm playing at standards of the restaurant. Which is fine, but
But 14 years for a gig.
It's pretty wild.
At Improv one especially, that's a long time to keep something like that running. So
that's like where the first time Snarky Puppy ever played was through that.
Oh, cool.
Like, I mean, that jam is again, not many people know about as they should because we weren't really concerned about the documentation.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of recordings, there's a lot of YouTube videos of it, but like, it just seems fascinating. Like if someone were to do some kind of like a documentary or some kind of more into it, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It was a real scene.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It doesn't happen that often in a city.
No, it's kind of a magical time when, like you said, when something like that's going on. I lived in Toronto at a particular time, and I moved there in 2001, and there just happened to be this R&B jam every Monday night with Rich Brown, if you know.
Oh yeah, Rich is amazing.
Yeah, so Rich was the house bass player, a guy named Wade O'Brown singing, and these guys would just play, R&B deep cuts and improvise through all of it. And there was a community of guys, and it didn't last that, nearly 14 years. It lasted a while, but you go there now and it's not there. So it was that brief period where it was like you could go, 5 nights a week and see guys like that play, and you'd learn just from sitting there, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. I really I crave it
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
At the time, I know for a fact we all just kind of we should have. I mean, what's the term I'm thinking of?
yeah,
We really should have been more
yeah.
aware of how cool this is.
Yeah, should have relished in it a little bit more.
We're
and-
just living our lives and
Yeah.
having this, this amazing scene, and it was like that kind of that amazing community where you're like, you know what, like every night of the week now, because this jam where the club it would go to would bring in
yeah,
new clients
Yeah.
and new people. So it was crazy, man, thinking about it. I mean, it was, and I never. It's like I that's where the whole King business comes from.
yeah.
That was my nickname in Atlanta, was the King.
Oh,
which
okay.
I think is absolutely bullshit.
That was another question I had for you.
Yeah, that's where that spawns from.
Yeah.
Because I was so involved in the community. Like I was booking gigs for people.
Yeah.
I had the jam.
Yeah.
Like I always, my goal was to get people together.
Yeah.
And that's why I started the jam, was because when I was younger, I would go to these other jams in Atlanta, and they're all specific. So it's these different scenes of people that had no idea the other scene was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you don't know this guy? Oh, no. Well, okay, because you didn't come to a blues jam, but it's like,
Yeah.
you guys should know each other. So at the height of the jam I was doing, on any given night, it'd be like an indie rock keyboard player playing with like an established touring funk R&B drummer, and then with like a guy in upright it's like always great
Yeah.
matchups would happen.
And it's just fun, right? Like, and that's kind of the thing that's missing these days. And I think, I don't know, so like necessarily where you're living at, but here I think everybody's just so busy trying to stay on top of bills and things.
Oh,
that-
dude, it's everywhere. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we lost the ability to go out and play those gigs where it's like you can just have fun. I saw Steve Lukather talking about that. He's like, these clubs we used to play where it's like you were allowed to fall on your face and try new stuff and make mistakes. And now everybody, a lot of the stuff we're doing is it's the stuff where you're on stage trying to execute something and you're in front of a crowd that's paying, expecting to see perfection. But those times where you could just play around are really the things that shape you, right?
Well, yeah, and when you hear the stories, especially about New York,
Yeah.
the Manhattan scene in the 70s and 80s and 90s, everybody talks about the 60s and shit, but like
Yeah.
that time frame of just the insane amount of work it
Yeah.
hangs. It's like I recently watched that John Scofield documentary.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
It's awesome. You should check it out.
Yeah. Nice.
But he starts talking about when he moved to New York.
Yeah.
He's from upstate.
Yeah.
And when I hear these stories, it's like, okay, I had, like, in my microcosm of the time period, we had the similar thing, but it still wasn't New York in the,
Yeah.
the 80s.
Yeah, totally.
Where you're like, man, there's like, 10 or more late night clubs,
Yeah.
and the baddest dudes would all be hanging back then.
Yeah.
And it's, I crave it,
Yeah.
and I've yet to find a place in New York now, because, the 55 bar closed.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard
And
that.
that was like my home in New York,
Yeah.
and I've yet to find another place like it.
Yeah, and so you from Atlanta, you moved up to New York, and 55 Bar was kind of one of the spots where you settled in and started making connections, right?
Yeah, I was living in Atlanta still, but I was flying back and forth
Oh, okay.
because when I started playing with Krantz, I was still living in Atlanta.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah.
I actually thought that was a connection you made in New York, but
No, it was because over the years, Tim LaFave has been like my big brother.
yeah,
And when Tim got the TTB gig, I was excited more so because I'll get to see Tim more,
yeah,
because they would tour a lot through.
yeah. They're coming through your neck of the woods
Yeah.
pretty regularly, right?
And so when Tim started getting real busy with that, he started recommending me for, he put the bug in Krantz's ear.
Yeah.
He got me connected with Donnie McCaslin.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And through Tim linking me essentially with Wayne is where I made all my connections that have caused my friendships and bands since.
Yeah.
Whether Henry Hay with Fork, with Zach Danziger, with the Titans, or Styx Jenkins, actually.
Yeah, Sticks. We got to be careful there.
Yeah, I can't, Ted Technical.
Yeah.
I've my speech right now has been affected because of the attack that Ted did in Jamaica. So I have to get my teeth.
Oh, yeah.
My two front teeth removed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another story, but
it's a traumatic experience.
Yeah, very traumatic.
So we don't want to dig too far into that. Yeah.
But I was basically flying back and forth, and I was paying. I had such cheap rent in Atlanta at my buddy's place.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'll just keep flying back and forth. But I was eventually, up there more and more and more. And then I met my wife, Kara.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is okay. I have to move to New York.
Yeah, of course.
Because she's an amazing artist, and I was like, you can't do what you do in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's just the scene there is so revolved around movie and TV that, and she's done that in the past. And I was like, I'll just move to New York.
Yeah, it's not exactly a bad music.
No,
town. Yeah, not a tough sacrifice career wise. I wouldn't think so.
No.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good question, and I think I probably know the answer after this far into the conversation. But you've backed up a lot of guitar players at this point. A lot.
It's crazy.
Backing up Warren at this point.
Yeah.
And do you think, is there anything specific that you have to have in your arsenal to do that, or do you think just all that time in that jam improv scene has really been the thing that's made it easier to figure out where to go in those times?
Having a weekly improvised gig will do wonders for your psyche.
Yeah.
It takes the fear out of everything.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's like a muscle. It was like, and it's hard to believe I did that for so long, but it was like, when you improvise in front of people with different people, at least 4 times a month, it gets you to a different perspective. And that's what I tell people all the time. It's like, go find a place. Don't worry about the money, and find a place to do improv with your buddies. Yeah. Don't worry about the bread.
Yeah, there's not going to be any for that.
Not for a while. Eventually for us, it was, we're actually making some money.
Yeah.
Because but for years there was nothing. It was like, but it's going through the motions of that. I think with the guitar player thing, is that you have to. All of them have different perceptions of what they like in a bass player. All my vocabulary at this point when I'm improvising behind a guitar player comes from Krantz. Because his concept when I heard him when I was 21, 22 was my obsession. Yeah. Obsessed that was like, that's all I did was try to study what he's doing from an outsider's perspective. And my buddy Carter Arrington would fly to New York to go see him and all this stuff. Yeah. So I take a lot of the ideas of how I feel playing under him and just apply it to everybody else.
Interesting.
And then some, like with Warren, Warren is he's so amazing because he wants to go places. Yeah. So when I first started playing with Mule, one time he was like, "Yeah, man." He just said it. He said it kind of past me, like, "Yeah." And then you just solo under me. Why solo?
Oh, okay.
I was like, "Cool."
Yeah.
And with Jimmy Herring, Jimmy, of course, he comes from a very similar background of the improvised craziness, and also from a very structured, like Dixie Dregs and stuff like that. So for him, it's like foundational, and then kind of moving under his solos more of like more subtle ways. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And but I realized the other day, I was like, man, I played with so many guitar players at this point. It's like, it's pretty crazy. Yeah,
because you've John McLaughlin.
Yep.
And then I got to go back. Oh man, I got so many things going through my brain, but I remember looking up the list, and it's like that's a lot of really big guitar players there. So, and like you say, the knowing how to operate under each one is a kind of a
just not being
skill,
scared to go for it.
Interesting, yeah.
Really, because it's like you can take the Buddy Miles approach. Yeah. Billy Cox approach. Yeah. And you kind of apply that where it's like if I'm envisioning, like, okay, if I'm playing under, a guitar player, and it's going into a section where it's getting heavier, it's really about kind of like maintaining an idea and a line, but you're propelling it and not doing so much. But then once, I think you can kind of sense when it needs to kind of go off.
Interesting, yeah.
But kind of keeping it foundational and just kind of pumping and pushing and not worrying about sometimes, like we talked about earlier about time. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, if the drummer's playing some sick pocket and he's behind, or sometimes if he's not, you just need to push it, and don't be scared to push it.
Yeah.
You know, just be told you're pushing it too much.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, and there's that thing too, because you can kind of get locked in that thing of thinking, well, no, I should be back here, but that push and pull is what really creates the interest, right?
And, and again, not trying to think about it.
Yeah.
Just feeling it out.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's okay. It's going here.
Yeah.
All right, we've gone up fucking 10 beats.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's live.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's TOs, it doesn't matter. But I just that's my approach to it. Is like I'm gonna go for stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if it's gonna be great, it's gonna suck.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's that, especially like you said, a guy like Warren who's willing to go to those places, and I mean he's a guy that's going to figure out what to do no matter where you go, right?
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
That's
pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I actually it's interesting because that was a conversation I had with Rich Brown one time where I was asked him like what he looks for in the musicians that he puts in his band. He said I need people that are fearless.
Yes,
like we're all going to hold hands, we're going to jump off that cliff, and whatever happens. And, there's certain styles of music where maybe that's not as much of a requirement. I call it, for lack of a better term, I call it regurgitating music. Those gigs where it's like somebody hires you and they want the part played for that, and that's a little different thing. But in the style of stuff that you're playing,
I think it's also important to establish what you want to do.
100%.
You know, and like over the years, it's I realized, God, I don't know, this is 8 years ago, maybe. I did a tour with Larkin Poe.
Oh, okay.
Me and my buddy Darren went out with them.
Yeah.
They had auditions, and I auditioned and got the gig, and it was like this year, 5-week year, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it was the first time in my life I was in a situation where it was like, you're going to learn this record, and we're going to play it just like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I realized at that moment in my life, like, this shit's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and no offense to them or anything like that, but like I just and I have a lot of respect for guys who can walk into a situation and be completely structured all the time. Like there's nothing wrong with it. But for me personally, it was like I realized, okay, like I needed to just like keep pursuing all my weird stuff.
Yeah.
Because and it was hard to accept that in a way because I was doing a lot of session work at the time. I was kind of viewed to myself because my hero is Chuck Rainey. Yeah. But then I was in this weird place when I was that age. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to be like this or that? And then I realized, okay, listen to Chuck Rainey play. That guy played different shit every night.
Yo, totally.
So that's good. But yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, I think the guys that can be in structured situations like in a pop act and like maintain the energy every night playing the same thing is pretty tough, and they can do it.
It's a different talent for sure. Yeah, and actually the Chuck Rainey who we talked about a little earlier, because I mean it's hard not to be a fan, right? He's just so many great bass lines. But who, like when you were growing up in Dothan, who were some of the earliest guys that you got into?
I bet I'm gonna switch the question on you.
Sure.
Who do you think the top three were when I was 12, 13 years old?
When you were 12? Okay.
Think about the time. How old are you?
I'll be 44 in a couple of days.
Okay, so I'm 30. I'm 39.
Yeah.
So think about the time frame here.
Yeah. So I mean, probably Claypool.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know for sure. I want to say Flea.
Yep.
Okay. And this should be more obvious than it is. I mean, I heard you say Mr. Bungle before, but I don't know. I'm not thinking that's one of the top three. I'm thinking.
You said his name earlier.
Did I? Jamer? No, we got to think. Who did I mention earlier?
Wooten.
Oh, yeah. Of course, because I was thinking more in the rock funk world. I didn't think, Victor Wooten, of course.
It was Victor, Flea, Les.
Yeah.
Trey.
Yeah.
I mean Trevor from Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And Cliff Burton.
Of course. Yeah, that was my first influence would have been.
Me too was the big one.
Yeah.
And then from there, Jocko, and then I got into fusion stuff pretty like soon after that.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Mr. Bungle stuff was a thing for me that it just, I don't know, it was just so different. So and I mean I discovered them before I discovered Zappa, so it was like
me too.
It was, it's that kind of thing. And actually that was the greatest thing about Flea was that I discovered a lot of the old funk stuff because I would read interviews where he'd talk about the Meters. I'm like, oh, who's that? Or the Ohio Players. And then I started digging back into that stuff, right? So I think we both kind of had the like,
yes,
we got into the new version of stuff first and then went back and found the old, right?
And I hope you kids are doing that to this day.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fishbone was another big one.
Dude.
Norwood Fisher just.
Faith No More.
Yeah.
Man, it's just the list goes on and on.
But yeah, we said we're the same person.
Pretty wild.
Same influences actually. So.
But I started playing bass because of Duck Dunn.
Oh really?
I was 10 and I went to see the Sandlot.
Oh yeah.
And that scene when Green Onions comes on.
Yeah.
I'm a theater mom. I'm like, what is that sound? She goes, that's a bass.
Oh really?
So I got a bass.
Yeah.
She bought me an Atlantic Records compilation.
Yeah.
Of R&B.
Yeah, of course.
And it has some stack stuff on it as well. And I learned to tighten up by Archie Bell, and I gave up bass. I said I've mastered it, and I'm going back to basketball.
I got this down.
And I picked the bass up again when I was 12. So.
Oh wow.
Duck Dunn's the reason why I started playing.
Interesting.
And it's amazing how I went back to that eventually.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys too. And I grew up 2 hours from Detroit. Didn't know who Jamerson was till much later. And Duck Dunn had a music teacher in high school who was, he had us playing Earth, Wind, and Fire songs and a lot of cool stuff. But I then showed us the Blues Brothers movie. And I was like,
it changed my life.
Yeah, who's that? Who is this guy? And then you start digging into it. And I remember a Blues Brothers compilation CD. And when I heard that, I just sat and tried to lift everything off it because it's just, just hip bass playing. Like, man,
it was the hippest.
Who are some of the bass players now that you see that you're excited about? Like even newer guys or even older guys that maybe you discovered later on?
Oh man, that's Kid Logan Kane from LA.
Oh, okay,
he's ripping.
Not familiar. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, he plays in that band Thumpasaurus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he's a very accomplished, upright player as well. And
nice.
He's very exciting.
Okay.
To me, as some of the younger guys.
Yeah.
Out. There's this other kid I heard. He's from I think he lives in upstate named Sam. God, I can't believe I forgot his last name. But this kid is. I'm gonna show you some stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And it's horrifying.
Oh, okay.
He's like 13.
Yeah.
And this kid, Matt Lard, he lives from North Carolina.
I think that's familiar.
He's playing in this band Big Something now.
Yeah.
He sounds really good, younger dude. There are so many other guys.
Yeah.
This kid Noah Deaton's pretty ridiculous younger bass player I've been checking out. But see, I reached out to him.
Oh, nice.
When I hear somebody that's younger, I stalk them.
Yeah.
I send them a DM.
Yeah.
I say, hey, you sound amazing. And
yeah.
If you need anything,
oh, nice.
It's like, more of a definitely they're way beyond me musically speaking, but I can help them with any kind of mental clarity.
Yeah, which is important, right? It's that's very cool.
But of course, the top modern guys that influenced my playing was definitely O'Teal and Tim.
Yeah.
Because I see the list of guys. We all have the same guys.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have to. It's like I have to. So
yeah.
I don't have. I guess I can't think of a secret guy that I was into that.
Yeah, I have one, and you probably would be. And I'm actually working on a piece on this. But one of the hippest guys that nobody ever talks about, and he played a fucking Rickenbacker, was Leon
Oh,
Silvers
God,
the
he's one of
third.
my all-time favorites.
Dude, like I did a deep dive on the stuff. His groove, like it's so good, man.
Yeah.
I figured you would have dug into all that stuff too, the whispers and all that.
It's all insane. Like, he's up there with any of those dudes.
Yeah, like compositionally on the bass part wise and chops wise, like some
It's
of that
nuts.
stuff.
I've actually been. That's what, some of the shit I shed is a lot of his stuff now.
Oh, and it's,
It's a little secret.
we
tidbit.
are the same guy. That's the only thing I play right now.
It's a little secret little tidbit there.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's
And I've had a few sessions lately where I've definitely ripped some of that shit off.
yeah, and even through that, through discovering him, there's a couple guys like Melvin Coleman.
Oh God.
That there's I forget the name of the Whisper song that he played with a pick, but I'm just like, this is like, these are guys we should be talking about. Like, these parts are incredible, right?
Or Michael Henderson.
So yeah,
I think he's overlooked.
yeah. There's another few guys like Marvin Craig and some of those other guys.
Another guy from Detroit that played with John Luke Pawnee. I just got into him.
Oh, Ralph.
Yes,
Armstrong. Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
No clue until I saw him advertised like selling like Warwick basses for years. Never checked it out. And maybe like last year I was like, whoa, dude, this guy is serious.
There's a reason people gave this guy a signature bass. Hey?
Yeah. Dude, serious dude.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that stuff that like we were talking earlier, some of the Chuck Rainey stuff that flew under the radar, where when you find it, it's just like,
bro, I could give a college course on Chuck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's crazy. Recently a student of mine was at some kind of camp and Chuck was there, and he showed Chuck a video of me playing. God, it's a YouTube video of me playing some Marvin Gaye tune.
I see. I actually watched it the other day. I can't remember the name of the song.
How do I not remember it?
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he showed Chuck the video and he recorded Chuck's reaction for me.
Oh wow!
And I literally was in tears, and my wife was like, because Chuck was did some extremely nice things.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It was I was like, you know what? That's unbelievable.
Yeah. That's you can set the bass down after that.
I mean, that's how obsessed I am. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, when I was living in New Orleans at this recording studio during the pandemic, I was getting a lot of work.
Yeah.
Thank God I was.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
But every single session, I told the engineer, I was like, I'm throwing in one Chuckism for every single song.
Yeah.
But he'd only wanted to be picking up on it.
Yeah.
But
then until you come back to me, chords in there.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Here's I'm starting this thing where I'm starting to record. Basically, I'll get some of my wife's favorite tunes and I'll re-record the bass line.
Oh, cool.
And so that's one of her favorite songs. So
yeah,
I re-recorded my take on it and I give it to her. So on the road, if it pops up in the playlist, it's like, that's Kevin playing it.
Oh, nice.
That was one of the ones I did.
That one's, I think for Chuck lines, that's one of my all-time favorites because there's just so many good nuggets on that thing. We've kind of talked about bass players, but
I'm gonna mention two more people though.
Please do. Yeah, absolutely.
There's this dude Austin White who I work with in my label,
and we got to talk about that.
That dude is his conception of what he's doing with like this like weird. It's like a 5 string with a high C, but he also is up an octave.
Oh wow!
And he's on some next level shit in my opinion.
Okay.
And this dude Evan Sarver, who lives in Atlanta. Evan is like this pocket guru. Like he's an amazing bass player.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I got some stuff.
You gotta check them out.
Yeah.
And Nick Clark.
Nick Clark
from Texas.
Okay.
Well, he lives in LA now, but he's he's an amazing we're
gonna have to sit down and I'm gonna have to follow some people right after this.
Sure.
So yeah. All right. Yeah, no, and like I say, that's kind of what Low End Nation's about. We're trying to bring some eyeballs to all these guys that are doing really cool shit and some inventive shit on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So very interesting. So what, I guess, going from, we've talked about bass players, what's the I mean, obviously you're a big P bass guy, but what was the genesis of basses as you learned? Like, what was the first bass, and did you hit the like active, six string mode and
yes. First bass my mom got me was like this short scale Epiphone that broke.
Oh yeah.
And then I got a PV Patriot.
Oh yeah.
And that was my main bass.
How much did that weigh?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It didn't weigh that much.
Oh, okay.
It was like a T40 or.
The T40s.
I have one of those.
Yeah.
That thing is a workout.
Yeah.
And then I got so basically this guy. We had similar backgrounds with a high school band. I had a great band director.
Nice.
And he, I was already playing like in a high school jazz band, like in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And Tim Gill was an amazing dude. But
yeah.
He had this guy that was studying under him to get something, internship or something. He had a Tobias Toby 6-string.
Oh, okay.
And the guy was selling for like $400, so saved up some money and got this 6-string bass.
Yeah.
And that was an active bass. And that was my main bass for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And then I got a Warwick Streamer Pro M.
Yeah, those are serious.
4-string.
Yeah.
And that was my main bass forever. But what was weird is the P bass, my 73 P bass that was my bass forever.
Yeah.
I got when I was 15 for $300.
Wow.
From a guy in my hometown.
Yeah.
I never played it until I was 24.
Oh, wow.
I was so into active.
Yeah.
Chop stuff.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of people know that.
Les Claypool.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wanted, at one time, I was like, I wanted to be like, Matt Garrison meets O'Teal.
Yeah, totally.
That was like where I was kind of going in my head.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, I want to be like those two guys.
Yeah, and O'Teal, another big 6-string guy. And
Matt's
not far off with the higher C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and O'Teal is, it's definitely not, O'Teal is like, can do anything. He's like the fucking Michael Jordan of the instrument.
Totally.
But in my mind, I was like, I wanted to be like, up in the upper register, and I was studying more Pat Martino and like transcribing like horn players than I was bass.
Yeah.
And then it all came to a head.
Yeah.
I was basically a frustrated guitar player.
Oh, fair enough.
At the time.
Yeah.
And I took this guy David Springer, who I was playing a quartet with. We're doing this recording, and he goes, "You hear the problem here?" And I went, when he goes, "We have the exact same tone."
Interesting.
He was playing like a hollow, like a jazz box. And I went, wow. And then I started, Mark Rottlebaugh and Dwayne Trucks and this guy Chris Hunt, these drummers in Atlanta, were like, "Man, start playing the P bass."
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't play fast on
Yeah.
it. Because at the time, I had a Music Man fretless 5-string I got.
Yeah.
And I had the Warwick, the P, and then I had this really cheap jazz bass I got because it was like I fell off a truck at Guitar Center, and my buddy was like, "It's $200."
Oh yeah.
It's a Highway 1.
Yeah.
So I had those rocking, and then eventually the P was it, and I got real big in electronic music about the same time.
Oh, okay.
So it was because I didn't know anything about Tim at all. I was until even on the stuff I heard from Krantz, it was like these bootlegs. I didn't know who was playing bass on it, and come to find out it was Tim and Anthony Jackson.
Yeah.
And that's that's another conversation with Anthony.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's a whole another podcast episode.
Yeah. Him and Chuck are rivals for the study. In terms of like how many, I think the guys that put the time into.
There's 4 Shaka Khan songs that are a study on their own of just you could build a career out of being able to just play like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and the J bass is necessary, but obviously
I got the J bass because of Anthony.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't really the Jocko thing at the time.
Interesting.
But now that bass is a converted fretless with a poly finish. It's my Jocko like bass.
Oh, very cool.
I still have it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And then obviously P bass with flats you kind of came around to, and that's the thing or at least that's what most people know you for at this point. So, Have you had to mix up basses that you're playing for the Mule gig at all?
Oh man, I rarely play a B.
Really?
It's all Gibson based.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's I have a Matt, my buddy Matt down in Atlanta. He has Banger guitars. He built me a Thunderbird
Oh, very cool.
with a P bass neck on it.
Okay.
And all my pickups are Avadishian pickups. This guy is Alex
Yeah.
down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it's the Thunderbird. I have a Ripper
Oh, okay.
that I play a lot, and I got a Syric now that's like an EB1 with a Thunderbird pickup,
Oh, cool.
and the Illuminati guitars.
I just saw that the
I
other day.
use those. I use that bass a lot. I mean, the Mule gig. I'm kind of thinking more in the terms of like improvised rock 70s vibe, distorted. And the P comes out just for like some of the blues stuff or Soulshine or
Yeah.
not really. Sometimes I play Mule on the P because it's more in the rocko sense. But
Yeah, definitely. And are you running many effects on the Mule gig, or is it just some drive and?
I have I'm still figuring out how to use effects.
Yeah.
Because I've used effects for years for different stuff, but I have a nice little board. Most of it's MXR stuff because I've been done a lot for years, and so. But I have, of course, I have my octave on there and a few different drives and
Oh, nice.
stuff. But the first tour I did with him, I brought all my weird shit out, and I was like, I gotta gradually bring this in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got to slowly open that door.
as much as I think a ring mod should be on everything, it's not gonna work.
Yeah. That doesn't really fit in yet.
Not
but
yet.
There's always room, right?
Yeah.
So, we'll talk about Fork.
Yes.
So
yeah.
you'd mentioned when Snarky Puppy first played was actually kind of through the jam that you were doing.
Yeah.
And that obviously that's the connection you had to Michael. Is that what brought you into Fork? Or
No,
was it
not at all. Not
Okay.
at all. No, me and Michael kind of lost touch over the years.
Okay.
This is like when they were still traveling around in like a beaten up old van.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Econoline van days.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, they couldn't even get a gig in Atlanta.
Oh wow.
Me and Michael just knew each other through my buddy Carter.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, I'll give you, if you're coming through, I'll give you my night. You can come open for us,
Oh, nice.
And then eventually he got established there. But the Fork thing comes from Henry seeing me play with Wayne Krantz,
Oh, gotcha.
essentially.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. And that's has it been 2 records with them now that you've?
Well, yeah, we had a remix record in the last one we just put out, and we're working on a new
Gotcha.
one right now.
Oh, nice. And we should talk about the project. Obviously you're playing with the Mule, which is a pretty busy gig. And then Fork is another project. You've got Wednesday Night Titans on the go. And then you've also got a label called 29th Street Editions.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And so the label, tell me a bit about that. It's basically an improv-based label, right?
I mean, for 90% of it.
Yeah.
And it all came about because I was given a lot of lessons during the pandemic.
Gotcha.
And that was how I was staying afloat, was, a lot. And it was really awesome. I got to meet so many new bass players and friends now
Yeah.
through that. And one of them was a guy, Austin White.
Okay.
And Austin hit me up, hey, man, I would like to take a few bass lessons from you. And we connected, and we just hit it off so hardcore. It was like, wow, this guy's an amazing player. He's an amazing dude. And I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And then I tell Austin, hey, man, I'm moving back to New York. I was like, oh, great, man, we're going to have to get up and hang or whatever. But then I figured out that, he ran GSI Records,
Okay.
which was a modern jazz label.
Yeah.
And Austin was, basically saying that he would like to do more of an improvised thing. And I was like, well, let's just start our own label and do that.
Yeah.
That's how it came about.
Oh, nice.
So, we got so much stuff coming out this year. It's wild. Always different projects and,
Yeah. And kind of mix of genres, is there a little bit everything kind of thing? Or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Like I got this project Wax Paper coming out, which was 6 years in the making because it was the house band at my night, the last band, me and Darren Stanley and Spencer Pope.
Yeah.
We did this record that's been shelved, and now we got it we had my friend Sasha on vocals, and that's coming out this month. It's kind of my first solo record. People could call it that.
Yeah.
But the band's Wax Paper.
Okay. All right. So keep an eye out for that, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. I'll ask you some quicker questions, but well, not necessarily. They don't have to be quick, I guess. But for the young guys out there, like obviously you've got some original projects on the go, but you've done a lot of work as a sideman, and especially the industry, like we've talked about through this whole thing, has changed a lot, even since we both kind of went out and cut our teeth. So, what advice would you have for a guy that wants to get into that role these days?
You know, I honestly would. If I was 23, I wouldn't look at it much different than when I was 23 back then. It's just stay true to your own vision.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't be scared. Like, okay, if everybody's on Instagram posting videos of them playing, then don't do that.
Yeah.
I think it's just being as authentic as possible.
Mm.
And I think that's really the key to success.
Yeah.
It's just believing in something that you do and not worrying about the outcome.
Mm. Interesting, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like if you want to be, like do solo bass register on piccolo bass, that's your passion, then pursue it.
Mm.
If you want to be a sideman for the Stars, pursue it.
Mm.
You know, and I think it's just important not getting caught up in like the kind of the scene mumbo jumbo of like drama.
Yeah.
That's one thing I regret when I was younger. I'll get caught up in, you know, all these, you know, shit talking situations and the round table.
Yeah.
Just avoid that, youngsters.
Yeah.
You know, or try to.
Yeah, for sure. What are things, you know, that at this point would make you say no to a gig? Like what are the red flags when somebody gives you a call?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing would be the music.
Mm-hmm.
If the music was really awful, I wouldn't do it. Or if it was something I wasn't into, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, essentially like, through Bruce's kind of training, it's like how I'd rather go push a broom.
Yeah.
You know, because music is a very such a personal thing.
Mm.
You know, or if a band leader's a dick,
Yeah.
I don't put up with that at all.
Yeah. Fair enough.
No, like I will walk out of a situation if they're not being a human being.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it's when you know you're gonna have to share a stage with somebody all the time, and there's a like, you know, in a way, there's a protecting your mental health too. Like why get yourself in that situation, right?
Yeah, the way people talk to people that's another red flag. It's like, you know, it's just not boot camp here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I ran into this on a gig I played a while back, but it's that, you know, at the end of the day, you're all trying to accomplish the same thing.
Right.
So that somebody bringing that energy into it just really doesn't. No. It's not helping anybody. You know. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's actually a good question. Or what things, like, we've done nothing but talk about music, but what are the things you do outside of playing music?
You know, I'm an avid reader of philosophy and psychiatry.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I also enjoy, you know, I love animals. Yeah. Like my wife's a rehabber.
Oh, okay.
So at one time, you know, we had a pet possum for years named Kenny Rogers that.
Oh, wow.
That lived to be almost 3 years old.
Oh, awesome.
And we've had raccoons and squirrels and.
Oh, wow.
You know, all sorts of stuff. And so that's another kind of hobby is just being in the animal kingdom, even though we live in Brooklyn now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What else? Pro wrestling, you know.
Of course.
Follow that pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
You know, one time I was real big into like, you know, like the kind of the powerlifting scene.
Oh, nice.
So I got real big into, you know, strength training, which I want to get back into again.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and just reading. Like I'm a big avid reader.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah. How are raccoons as pets?
Well, you can't.
I've been curious about that.
So you can't. You can have one forever, but like
Yeah.
It's not recommended because they'll live to be like 27.
Yeah.
And they're also feral. So like we would get raccoons when they're very young and get them to a point to go to another rehabber.
Gotcha.
Because once their hormones kick in, they get a little
wild.
nippy.
Yeah.
You know? But there's a magical kind of like 2-month period when they're like still lovey, but like big enough to run around that you're like, this is the best. Why can't you stay like this?
Yeah, totally.
You know, you get a little raccoon running around and like you're watching TV and it's on you like
hanging out.
You know, or getting on my dog's back and making him piss, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this last one we had, we the last batch we had, one of them we thought we were going to keep, and then we started doing more research, and it was like we knew somebody that had a raccoon for 20 years, and one day decided to bite her fingers off.
Oh wow!
So it's like we can't risk that.
Yeah.
Know? But possums are completely docile, awesome little creatures. Like if you get them when they're young, it's like having a house cat, but it's a possum. Yeah.
That's interesting. I actually don't know anybody else that's had a possum as a pet. I don't think.
We have another one now. I'll show you some. Yeah, we recently obtained one that was attacked by a dog.
Oh, okay.
So it can't be released. So we're gonna keep it.
Oh,
His name Ozzy Osbourne because the mouth is kind of jacked up.
Yeah. That's awesome. The other one I had was what's the toughest lesson you've ever had to learn playing music?
I mean, just the reality of just like the ups and downs of the business, the truth. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no really like if you get to a top of anything, it's a slow descension down.
Yeah,
you know that's kind of a hard thing for a lot of guys to accept. Is the older you get, it's like you see these younger guys that are just ripping.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be more of a perspective of being like, this is a good thing, you know. And I think it's the harsh reality of just the business where it's, you know, like accepting that I'm going to be gone a lot from my family at this moment in time. You know, it's just you know. I mean, it goes back to Bruce again. Bruce was basically, you know, one of the first questions he asked guys who joined the band was like, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" It's like, there's no guaranteed money. It's horrible to maintain relationships with people. It's bad for your health, bad for your mental health. Like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not a dark way to look at it because it's like, it's the truth. Like,
it's real.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's like, if we were doing it just to essentially like get messed up or, you know, get laid or all this crap, it's like, it's not sustainable. So you have to really want to do this.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's just the hardest thing I've learned is like, you know, I guess maintaining your identity and like realizing that mental health is more important than getting like some big gig, you know.
Yeah, that's a kind of a hard thing to keep in mind because you get caught in that, like, just want to, like, I think any of us that have tried to pursue it, you've got that motivation to keep moving forward, but sometimes that's really not the best thing for you, right?
No.
So we haven't talked really about Wednesday Night Titans.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is I keep telling people that this is, I know it's insane that this guy, we look so much alike.
Yeah.
But, you know, Ted is extremely dangerous dude. And, you know, I don't know if you saw what happened in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's, you know, but they somehow got on the bill, and I told management with Mule that you know, I told them it's not the same person. They didn't believe me.
Yeah.
And here they are, showed up, and, you know, this Ted character, you know, went after me and jumped on stage and played.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it's really disturbing. I mean, I think what they're doing is the most innovative stuff I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But, you know, they're not good guys.
You don't just run on stage at somebody else's gig.
No, I mean,
That's
Styx
cool.
and Ted are they're brilliant, but they are assholes, and I don't support them at all.
Yeah, good to know, yeah.
Yeah.
And we probably we won't talk too much about him at this point then. But
well, I'm just, again, I want people to make sure to tell them again, I'm not the same person.
You got it's spitting image for sure, but definitely not the same guy. So we'll interview Ted Technical another time.
Well, good luck with
And
that. You know, I have a, you know, I can't really. this lawsuit I have against him, I can't really talk much about it.
He's kind of abrasive, though.
Yeah.
We could say that. I think. Yeah.
Well, he knocked my teeth out. So.
Yeah. Well, that's right there. Kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awful.
Right on. Well, I'm glad we were able to get you in. We'll deal with Ted Technical another time. But thanks a lot for coming in, hanging out, sitting down, chatting bass, and looking forward to coming to check you guys out playing tonight at the Vogue here in Vancouver.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, man. This has been such a great day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll keep it rolling. So
Absolutely.
right on. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks a lot.